Hello students, how are you? I hope you are staying happy and healthy at your home. Let's begin with our today's session of history, that is lesson number 3, applied history. So the question arises over here students, that what is applied history? Applied history is nothing but a kind of an history where we can apply it and make our future more better and effective. So here are some points to remember for this particular lesson number 3. So we will be going step by step, point point, and then we'll discuss about the point briefly. First point, applied, that means public history. Field of study concerned with application of history for the benefit of people in the contemporary and future times. That means, students, the history is nothing but the past related happenings and things on basis of which we are taking that knowledge, applying that knowledge in different sections and making our future brighter and effective. Second point, Srushti Institute of Art, Design and Technology at Bangalore has an independent department named Center for Public History to take up projects and research in public history. Talking about this point, student, in whole India there is only the one institute who is supporting, who is giving the chance, or who is having the specific department for this applied history to get the knowledge for. Secondly, every stream, considering all the three streams, science, commerce and arts, we have specialization in different sections or departments. But history doesn't have any kind of a specific department. Here, this applied history is a one kind of a point which is helping us to know that how this history is going to be applied in different sectors, in different departments, in different sections, which can be helpful for our better future. Third point, fields of research in applied history. So here in this third point we are going to see that which are the different kind of in fields of research done where the history has been applied. So first is philosophy, second is science, third is technology, fourth is industry and commerce, fifth is management studies, and sixth is arts and humanities. So these all 6 points are the pillars. And if you can see, there are three main streams: science, commerce, and arts. Here all the streams are considered, whereas the major thing, that is humanity and the philosophy, is also been considered. So here the history is being applied for each and every section. Next point, that is fourth, role of applied history in philosophy. Now individually we are going to see all the 6 points and understand that how the history has been applied for that particular department. First, helps in understanding of ideologies and intellectual traditions. That means philosophy is basically been depend on the ideologies and intellectual traditions. So these both the things are making more simpler, more understandable by history. So history is playing a very important role in philosophy. Second point, history of language helps in understanding philosophical expressions. During ancient time duration, or in the past time duration, history has given us a basic kind of a thing to understand the language. As we know pretty well, there are different kind of a language spoken in different regions of India. So this different region languages are being made easier, simpler and understandable by this history. So which is a second most important point in philosophy. Next point, that is role of applied history in science. Once the philosophy is understood, we are going for the first stream, that is science. So let's see how the history is helpful in science. First, helps in understanding chronological order of scientific inventions, discoveries, and theories. Students, science is very important for understanding these things step by step. Science has its own principles and rules and regulations. So, here history helps science to understand the chronological order of scientific invention, discoveries, and theories. These points are helping science to develop it more, get the knowledge, and experiment and explore more in the future. Second point, helps to understand the cause and effect chain that lead to those discoveries and inventions. Here I want to give an example, students. Suppose if you didn't have this point of history, or you didn't have this history subject, then what would have happened? You must have not understood that what all the things happened in the past, what all inventions are done, what all discoveries are done, and you must have not able to see what the future can be. Suppose some of your colleague has discovered or invented an electric bulb which has already been invented in the past, right? And if this electric bulb which is been invented in present situation, that your colleague is very happy that the invention is unique, different than anyone else, and the other persons who are actually been knowing related to it, obviously this must be a point of view of humor. It must be a kind of fun for the other person, that this person, this your colleague, don't know that this invention is already been done. What is the new and unique thing in it? So history helps us to bring out the different knowledge which is not yet been discovered, invented, explored at all. Next point, helps in understanding the factors that felicitate a scientific discovery and inventions as well as its chronology. So, history helps to understand the different kind of factors which are related to the science and discoveries and inventions, but that too in the perfect order, perfect step by step way. Because in science, as we know pretty well, there are experiments, and experiments also has their specialization or specification. If suppose there is a combination of three chemicals, first chemical is mixed with the second, second is mixed with the third. Suppose if you don't follow that pattern, if you mix up the third chemical with the first at the initial stage, and then you mix up the second chemical with the first, you will not get the exact results which are needed. So history helps science in such a way that everything goes in a proper chronological way. Now, next point, let's go to the next main point, that is role of applied history in technology. Now, before starting with this technology point, I want to tell you that science and technology both are internally connected with each other. So, first point of this explanation, understanding the changes and their causes in the field of agricultural production, commodity production, architecture, engineering, etc. As we know pretty well, during ancient time duration, we were not using a good amount of tool for agricultural purpose. Talking about today's generation and present situation, there are n number of tools which are being used for agricultural purpose, so that manpower is being reduced, human beings energy is being saved, we can use the different kind of equipments, and we can get the maximum production results. So history has given the development point of view for the technology also. Second point, understanding development of mechanization and the mutual dependence between science and technology. As I discussed before, science and technology are internally linked with each other, and history gives the chance of development with the mechanization and the mutual dependence on each other. Next point, role of applied history in trade and commerce. So, in the previous point, we completed our science stream. We are coming to the next stream, that is commerce. Helps in understanding of cultural interactions and social transactions which are a part of industrial and commercial management. Talking about trade and commerce, students, during ancient times we were not having any kind of an trading and commercial kind of a thing, but yes, still the transactions were done. Here I want to highlight you the barter system, which we have already been learned in the previous standards. So barter system is nothing but the transaction done with the goods, not with the currency. So history has begun from then and now. Now we are using currencies for any kind of transactions. So history plays a very important role in trade and commerce too. Next point. Role of applied history in management studies. Yes, this is the very important part. First point, management at various levels becomes easy with understanding of factors involved in chain of production such as means of production, human resource, sales management, etc. and their functional system in the past. You must be thinking that this such a kind of a bifurcation of work or systematic kind of a work was not been happen in the ancient time duration. But this is completely wrong. Yes, during ancient time duration, also this kind of a work and work chain was being developed. I'll give an example of a king over here. King has a specific administration section in his palace where all of his administrational people are coming together and discuss and sort out the problems which are being held in the kingdom. That is nothing but a kind of a management study, isn't it? And nowadays, as if the big multinational companies are playing the same role. They are having a round table meeting, they are having conference meeting. These all kind of meetings are compared to those time duration administrational work. So this is nothing but the supportive or helping hand by history to the management studies. Next point, understanding psychological characters in production and marketing, social and economic institutions. Now, obviously, commerce is having the combination of all these things, that is production, marketing, social, and economic. So these all points are coming together and then commerce has been developed. Same like that, during ancient time duration also these all things were done. Suppose if a king wins the other kingdom or the other king's kingdom, then what happens to celebrate that section, he used to invite the nearby king of the nearby kingdoms. Not only just to celebrate, he just want to prove his strength or to display his strength in front of everyone so that he can make it in the more better way. He is making a different kind of a presentation in front of other kings. So that is nothing but a kind of a marketing, isn't it? So history has been developed from the ancient time duration in the management studies too. Next is role of history in art. Talking about art, students, I have seen n number of pictures which are being seen as colorful, mixture of all the colors. Some of the human faces are merged with each other. Looking to those pictures, we just feel that why this kind of things have been done. It is just a kind of time pass, isn't it? It is just for done for creating a kind of different image, extraordinary image, nothing else. And if you look over to the prices of those painting, it's so very high. The question arises in our mind that why this kind of work is being paid so much of money. The question arises has a simple answer that if you have the perfect knowledge of art, then and then you'll able to understand the depth of that color, understand the depth of that mixture, understand the depth of that human faces. This is also been given by the history. In the ancient time duration, people were not having any kind of colors. They were only having the mud of different colors or clay of different colors. They used to use that clay and mud and create a different kind of picture. Here we are going to discuss about the art stream. Let's go to the point. Cultural history helps in understanding development of art forms through style of expression, intellectual, emotional and cultural traditions and temperament of the artist. As I said, if you have the perfect knowledge of art, if you have the perfect knowledge of combination of colors, you'll come to know that what the artist want to describe by that painting. Next point, role of applied history in humanities. After completing all the three streams, that is science, commerce and arts, we have come to the humanities. So what and how the history has played an important role in history of humanities. First point, to understand origin and development of various disciplines in humanities like history, archaeology, anthropology, sociology, etc. Humanity is nothing but a combination of all these four things, that is history, archaeology, anthropology and sociology. If these all things are considered together and if we analyze the things which have been happening in the past, then yes, you will see that all the things which are followed today, which we are following today, are been begun from the ancient time duration only. Second point, philosophical explanation of mythological stories. Yes, whatever values we Hindu people or any kind of a religion person is getting over from the mythological stories. Any kind of a religion, any follower of any religion has the mythological story of their own religion, which helps them out to understand the value, to understand the different kind of happenings in the past, and to get the more knowledge out of it. Secondly, in this particular point, the point of role of applied in humanities, I just want to give an example. We human beings also have the values received from our ancestors, isn't it? Sometimes a person is visiting to your house and they are telling you or give you a kind of a good comment that you resemble to your father or you resemble to your mother or you are having the same quality as your father or you are having the same quality as your mother. Even the statement is done that you are having the same behavior as your parents, isn't it? So you must be thinking that why such a kind of a thing has been happened. This is nothing but the things followed from your ancestors to you. Sometimes you may don't have the qualities of your parents, but you have the qualities of your grandparents. There is no connectivity of grandparents and you, because sometimes before you get birth in this the new life, your grandparents must have left the world. But still the quality are being derived from your parents to you, your grandparents' quality. So this is nothing but the better example of this humanity. Such a kind of qualities are also been considered by the history. Means your grandparents are nothing but a kind of an history, part of history, and you are getting the knowledge out of it. Next coming point is visible and invisible relics of the past. Represents the heritage of creative thoughts and traditions of our ancestors. Very true. Many things are visible, many things are invisible. As I gave the example to you about your ancestors and about your grandparents. Yes, the visible things which you are getting, that is the property or the things, physical things which they have, and obviously you are the next one to use it. But invisible things like values, thoughts, like each and everything which the mutually been understood, emotionally been given to you, that is invisible kind of things. So this is nothing but related to the history, and these all things are to be preserved, conserved by us, and which is very very important. Next point, our identity and origin. Necessity to preserve and conserve our heritage. Very true, very correct. Whether it is your own family, whether it is your family members or anything related to their family, considering that, and also the things related to your nation, that is all considered as your heritage. So your duty for your family, even your duty for your nation, plays a very important role, and you have to conserve and preserve both of heritages. Next point, cultural heritage. So cultural heritage has two things, that is tangible cultural heritage and intangible cultural heritage. You have better enough knowledge of tangible and intangible word. You are familiar with those all words. So let's see what is tangible cultural heritage. So tangible cultural heritage are ancient sites, buildings, second, artifacts, third, manuscripts, fourth, sculptures, paintings. So these are considered as tangible cultural heritage. So this tangible cultural heritage are helpful for you to know about your history, your past related things. Those can be helpful for you to even use it number of times again and again. Next is intangible cultural heritage. First one is oral traditions and their language. Second, traditional knowledge. Third, customs and rituals of celebrating festivals. Fourth, certain traditional skills and communities representing them. Not only the tangible things, but intangible things are also considered as cultural heritage. Whatever kind of a languages, like as I have said, Pali language, Sanskrit language, these all languages are said to be in cultural heritage that is to be preserved and conserved by us. Traditional knowledge, whatever traditional things which we are using it day by day, even the things which are coming from our ancestors are also been considered as traditional knowledge that is also to be preserved and conserved by us. Third point, customs and rituals of celebrating festivals. That is also very true. What is the actual custom and what is the actual tradition to celebrate that festival is also to be taken into consideration for this intangible cultural heritage. The last point, certain traditional skills and communities representing them. There are certain kind of communities and traditional things which are there, like for example tribal people, or we can say Adivasi people. They are having their own kind of cultural values which are different from regular ones, and they also represent their different kind of skills. So those are also been considered as the cultural heritage, and that is also to be preserved and conserved nicely. Next point is natural heritage. Now, yes, the point arises natural heritage. Why the natural heritage is important? We are learning from very early stage that the nature environment is to be saved at the first. First the nature, then the nation, and then the family. So this is the sequence of preserving and conserving. So here flora, fauna, ecology, and geomorphic characteristics are important to be conserved and preserved. Nature helps us to develop in the future, in the present, and obviously it has helped in the past too. Next is UNESCO's World Heritage List includes. Now UNESCO is having the specific kind of a list for World Heritage, and we are very glad to say that Western Ghats, that is Khas Plateau in Satara, is considered in the World Heritage List by UNESCO. Next, bodies for preservation and conservation of cultural heritage in India. So there are three major bodies or three major organizations who are taking care of our national cultural heritages. First is Archaeological Survey of India. Second, State Development of Archaeology. Third, INTECH, that is Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage. So these are the three major organizations who are taking care of and maintaining our cultural heritage. Next point, earliest museum of the world, 6th century BCE. So students, other all things like monuments, temples, songs, traditions, folk songs, these all are even that mythical stories. These all things are obviously the part of history. But to have the very good knowledge of history, museums also play a very important role. And the first museum or the earliest museum of the world was being prepared in 6th century BCE. So first point, it was been excavated at Ur in Mesopotamia by Leonard Woolley, built by the prince of Mesopotamia Inigaldi. Clay tables bear descriptions of exhibited artifacts. So this museum is situated in Mesopotamia. It was being built up by the prince of Mesopotamia, and the main center of attraction for in this museum was the clay table which was having the bear inscription on it, was being considered as most important. Next point, Indian Museum of Kolkata. Talking about India, India is also having the very Indian museum, sorry, India is also having the very ancient kind of a museum which is situated in Kolkata. First is, it was been founded by Asiatic Society in 1814 CE. So it is the most ancient one. Second one, first curator Nathaniel Wallich, Danish botanist. He was the first curator. Third point, main departments were art, archaeology, and anthropology. So, in this museum at Calcutta, there are the three particular departments: art, archaeology, and anthropology. Next point, National Archives of India, located at Delhi. So, our nation's archive, the most important archive place, is located at Delhi. The last point of this lesson is to be highlighted is National Film Archives of India. First one, located at Pune. Second, established in 1964 as media unit of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So, not only science, commerce, and arts are considered to be the history related things, or we can say only the artistic things, sculptures, monuments, not only those are to be preserved and conserved, or they are not only the part of archives of history, but even film, national film industry, or we can say film industry, is also to be considered as the one of the historical knowledge for us. So here, National Film Archives of India, which is located at Pune, which was established in 1964, is a specific kind of a center of attraction made by Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So this is also giving a specific knowledge related to the film industry. That's all for this session, students. I hope you must have understood all the points of this particular lesson, that is applied history. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in my next coming session. Thank you. Have a great day.